أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
Surah 90, Al-Balad, the city, Meccan period. Title: The expression Al-Balad, the city, occurring in the surah's opening verse came to be known as its title. Period of revelation. Both the surah style and its contents are identical with those of early Meccan surahs. A clue in the text suggests that it was revealed when the unbelieving Meccans had unleashed torture and persecution of the Muslims and had become totally opposed to the Prophet, peace be upon him. Subject matter and contents. A broad, extensive theme is succinctly discussed in this surah. It is to the miraculous brevity and pithiness of the Quran that a whole world view, one that would usually require huge volumes to state, is articulated forcefully in this short surah with its brief verses. This surah throws light on man's place and role in the world and how he should treat the world. It also explains that Allah has facilitated for man his pursuit of the high road, whether it be of either good or evil. It is man's choice and effort whether he earns divine reward by following the straight way or incurs self-destruction by taking to the path of error and evil. First, the city of Mecca, the persecution directed against the Prophet, peace be upon him, and the general condition of mankind are cited as pieces of evidence to affirm that this world is not a bed of roses for man. Rather, he has been created into toil and hardship. This brings to mind another Quranic verse of similar import. Man shall have nothing but what he has striven for. Al-Najm 53:39. On reading both verses together, it is crystal clear that man's ultimate end depends upon his own choice and effort. Man is asked to shed the delusion that he is not accountable to anyone. On the contrary, his Lord fully knows who has strayed from his path and who is rightly guided. Amid the many mistaken notions entertained by man, special mention is made in this surah of his vanity, of his showing off. He takes pride in his extravagance and is applauded for his spending by those around him. However, Allah closely watches how he amassed his wealth and how and where he spent it. Allah has invested man with the means of knowledge, a thinking mind, and the faculty of discernment to distinguish between good and evil. Both the high roads of good and evil are clearly marked out for him. One path lands him in the abyss of moral degeneration. One does not have to undergo any hardship in following this path. Rather, one enjoys it. The other path is, no doubt, a steep one, for one has to restrain oneself. Out of his humanness, man, however, prefers the former rather than the latter. The path leading to eternal success is clearly spelled out in this surah. Far from spending his wealth for making a show, man should use it to help orphans and the indigent. He should believe in Allah, join the community of believers, and construct a society in which people enjoin upon one another steadfastness and compassion. This will win him Allah's pleasure. On the contrary, those pursuing the former path shall have hellfire upon them. Never will they be able to escape it.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
In the name of Allah, the most merciful, the most compassionate.
لا أقسم بهذا البلد.
Nay, I swear by this city. Nay. The word nay is used here to stress that the unbelievers' ideas were altogether devoid of reality.
وأنت حل بهذا البلد.
This city wherein you have been rendered violable. This city wherein you have been rendered violable. The irony was that in Mecca, even animals, let alone human beings, were inviolable and enjoyed security. Astonishingly, in that very city, every kind of wrong and injustice was perpetrated against the Prophet, peace be upon him, as though it were lawful to do so only in this particular case.
ووالد وما ولد.
And I swear by the parent and his offspring.
لقد خلقنا الإنسان في كبد.
Verily, we have created man into toil and hardship. Verily, we have created man into toil and hardship. That is, this world is essentially not a place of fun and frolic. Instead, here one has to pass through the rigors of toil and hardship, something which no human being can escape.
أيحسب أن لن يقدر عليه أحد
Does he think that no one can overpower him?
يقول أهلكت مالا لبدا
He says, I have squandered enormous wealth.
أيحسب أن لم يره أحد
Does he believe that none has seen him? Does he believe that none has seen him? There are people who boastfully flaunt that they are great squanderers of wealth. Are such people too foolish to take any note of the fact that there is, after all, God above them who takes note of how they had acquired wealth and the purposes on which they spent it?
ألم نجعل له عينين
Did we not grant him 2 eyes,
ولسانا وشفتين
and a tongue and 2 lips, and a tongue and 2 lips? The purpose of this query is to impress upon us that God has endowed man with the means to acquire knowledge and wisdom.
وهديناه النجدين
And did we not show him the 2 high roads of good and evil?
فلاقتحم العقبة
But he did not venture to scale the difficult steep.
وما أدراك ما العقبة
And what do you know what that difficult steep is?
فك رقبة
It is freeing someone's neck from slavery,
أو إطعام في يوم ذي مسغبة
or giving food on a day of hunger
يتيما ذا مقربة
to an orphan near of kin,
أو مسكينا ذا متربة
or to a destitute lying in dust.
ثم كان من الذين آمنوا وتواصوا بالصبر وتواصوا بالمرحمة.
And then besides this, he be one of those who believed and enjoined upon one another steadfastness and enjoined upon one another compassion.
أولئك أصحاب الميمنة
These are the people of the right hand.
والذين كفروا بآياتنا هم أصحاب المشأمة.
As for those who rejected our signs, they are the people of the left hand. As for those who rejected our signs, they are the people of the left hand. To comprehend what is meant by the people of the right hand and the people of the left hand, see Al-Waqiyah 56, 8, 9, 27-40, and 41-56.
عليهم نار مؤصدة
Upon them shall be a fire that will hem them in.